Once you guys come in, let's see. Once you guys come in, I hope that's recording me properly. Once you guys come in, mute your microphones for me, please. All right. Welcome, guys. How is everybody doing? Doing good? All right. So, let me scoot back so I'm like in every friggin' frame. I've got like 3 different cameras going on here. It's a menagerie. So, I have really been contemplating what my path is, what my direction is, like everybody else. I don't think that that's anything, well, I hope that it's not anything new for people, but I think it is actually. I realized that my life has been involved with self-evolution, so that not only I'm evolving, but I'm evolving for other people, so that I can be a conduit, so that I can be a guide. And, you know, for a while, I guess I thought of it as a career. I mean, you know, I'm really contemplating, like I thought it was a career, but instead I'm feeling it's a calling, especially right now, because I've asked people older than myself. I know personally I've never experienced anything like what's going on right now in my personal lifetime, but I'm only 47 years old, so I'm really, you know, not that old. So I've asked older friends who I don't consider that old either, but the older I get, I don't consider other people that old, right? Have they ever experienced anything like what we are experiencing right now in their lifetimes? And the answer was no. And I think we have agreed on this paradigm. I think we have agreed on this reality, and we've forgotten. We've forgotten our connection to God. We've forgotten our connections to one another and the world that surrounds us. And right now, it's been taken away so that we realize the juxtaposition. You know, I always say, might not like down dog very much until you've done another posture for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh great, thank you, down dog, right? I think that we have gotten so caught up in what we think reality is and who we think we are, that, you know, the world, God, and the actual things that are going on around us has put a brake on and is asking us, is this the reality we choose? And so most of us, you know, unless you've been spending 20 years or more learning to meditate and learning to evolve and move that direction, you begin to think that like everybody's doing it, right? And it was hard for me to really think about the moment I had forgotten, those moments when I didn't self-reflect, where I didn't think about anything beyond my own survival, where, you know, if I questioned why I was here, it wasn't in the context of involving others, right? So I'm going to move this a little in front of me because I don't like. So if you guys see this, this just has a camera on it so that this can be a Facebook Live situation too. So, you know, I think we have forgotten. We've forgotten. I forgot what it was like not to be mindful and aware of my thoughts and my behaviors. And I also forgot that people actually need the step-by-step training. You know, it was happening for me throughout my yoga training and my yoga practice years ago. I've often said a good yoga instructor won't push their philosophy or ideas on you. they'll allow you a guideline, an outline, and so that as you practice, your mind and everything evolves to the reality and the connection to God that you need, not theirs, right? We're kind of, you know, the tofu or the flour. We're just the baseline so that you can fill in and put all of your ingredients in. But most people don't even know how to truly meditate, how to truly drop in. And meditation is theta state. It is that state where we're actually, as adults, learning. For the first 7 years of our life, we're being programmed. That's where our mind is in such a state that it's really absorbing and downloading information of how to be human, how to work in this world, the way your mind and body works. That all happens in the first 7 years. And then after that, there's a kind of a part of our brain that shuts, I wouldn't say shuts down, but becomes harder to access. It's kind of like, you know, learning a language after that time period becomes hard because that part of the brain is starting to develop, so, and has gone on its own path of neural connection. And so what's happening is that the only way to learn things after that age is either through that brain wave of theta state, where we're letting the outside stimulus drop away, pratyahara, and becoming one-pointed focus, dharana, so much so that concentration turns into meditation, and that meditation allows you to reprogram your brain, reprogram those thoughts, reprogram those feelings and the views of the world. Repetition is also the other way to do it. And so if you notice in yoga class, we are just paying attention to that second toe over and over again. We're paying attention to that breath over and over again. And the reality is learning to meditate as an adult is just that way. I was talking to a friend yesterday who really didn't understand like the mechanics of meditation. Unfortunately, this person was told to just sit there and not think. Good luck with that. This is a thinking machine. It is a biological machine meant to run programs all day long, so that you can see the world and interact with it. And we get so caught up in it, we believe everything that comes through it. Everything that comes through it. And it was all programmed by humans, which are flawed at best. At their best, at our best as a human society, we are flawed. And so how can we start to see where the flaws are, where the chinks in our armor is, how to meditate, how to use meditation, whether we're sitting on a nice little tuft that my friend gave me, or I'm out in the world about to deal with going grocery shopping during the coronavirus, right? Or thinking about a career path that might have totally changed, or a world that might have totally changed. And how do we reprogram? How do we find that space where we understand and control the thoughts? So, simple meditation techniques. So this is going to be every day. I'm going to do a daily meditation, and our personal master classes are starting off with meditation now. Lecture and then into our meditation. So the lecture is, we have all forgotten. We have all forgotten who we are, what our purpose in the world is, how we're supposed to integrate with the world around us, the people around us, what is truly important. We have all forgotten that, and we forget. We go to sleep, we dream over and over every day, and we have a choice of what we're dreaming. So how to start choosing that dream, how to start focusing our minds. And so our monkey wheel, 10,000 chattering monkeys of the mind. So we start off by the breath. Everybody close your eyes for me right now. Find a comfortable position. I don't care if it's laying down. It's a little early in the morning, so I tend to not instruct people to lay down, but if you have back issues and you need to sit in a chair or you need to recline a little bit, that's fine. I do not want you to fall asleep during this space, especially those of you about to practice with me, physical practice. As you come to this place and your eyes close, knowing the rules of reprogramming as an adult is to either drop into theta state with a conscious intention or repeatedly do something, right? And so that's what we're doing. I would like you to, as you come to this space, just notice the breath. You do not have to change the breath. You do not have to stop thinking. There is nothing for you to do in this very moment except to breathe. Feel the inhales, feel the exhales, and just notice them. And as you begin to experience the breath, you start to experience those inhales and exhales in a manner that is natural, comfortable to you. It's as though you're not doing any of the work. You're just watching the interworkings of the body happen naturally. No effort, no force, just this utter watching. And as you watch the breath, you might watch your mind start to oscillate between things about the breath. So as you watch the breath and you begin to pay attention to how the thoughts randomly change, you'll notice that the thoughts will go to how the breath feels. The thoughts will go to the sound of the inhale. The thoughts will then oscillate to, oh, how long is she going to have me doing this? And then it'll come right back to the breath of maybe you'll start to watch the rise and fall of the chest internally. But notice that the mind, even though you've asked it to think about the breath, it still can't stay on one thought about the breath. It still circles the breath with many thoughts. And just notice it. Just notice how maybe bring your awareness to counting the breath for a moment. So just count how long it takes you to inhale mentally. Count the little pause in between the inhales and exhales. And then count how long it takes you to exhale completely. And just notice, just watch. You'll stay good on the count. And then all of a sudden you'll be into another thought. If you go off into that path of that other thought, bring it back, right back to your breath. There's nothing to do except bring it back to a thought about the breath. And just watch the mind will try to drift away from the counting. You're just going to bring it right back. Treat the mind like a small child that you would gently guide back into the space that you want it to play in. And then just be aware, don't try to change it, don't judge it. Notice how the mind just does not want to stay focused on counting. It may have tricked you into thinking that it was still thinking about the breath and what you wanted it to think about, but it was thinking about different aspects of the breath. You might have gone into the feeling of the breath and dropped the count for a while. You might have gone into a whole to-do list and not even been on the breath. But notice how you had to continually bring it back to that inhale and that exhale. Those of you who are not sitting upright with me, I'd like you to do so now, whether it's in a chair or on a bolster. Those of you who are already sitting upright, go ahead and open the eyes for a moment. And let's talk about this for just a moment, and then we'll go right back into it. So understand that meditation is training, just as though you would, muscle train, or you would learn to drive a car for the first time, or your first day on any job might have at least a day or two of training, depending on how complex the job is, or it might have a couple weeks of training, right? But it's in that repetitious state where you're holding place and you're redoing over and over again, right? And so that's what meditation is going to be for everyone. In the beginning, it's just going to be to get your mind to stay focused on counting the breath. When I first started to learning to meditate, I would inhale and exhale, and I would spell the words inhale and exhale. So with that, I want this meditation practice for you to just be that simple. So today's practice, as we go into another level of meditation for a couple minutes, I want you to go back into the breath. I want you to go back into the breath, and as you go back into the breath, just breathe and think about the numbers. And no, don't grip. Turn your video and your mic off, Sarah, please. Thank you.
Sorry, I have to get back on, sorry.
Yeah, let me turn it off for you. So what I need you guys to do is, as you come into the seated position, close your eyes. Know that the mind is going to try to pull you in its own direction. Watch it as though you're watching thoughts come up on your movie screen, like in roll credits, right? And then just come right back into the count of the breath. Don't be discouraged. Don't be frustrated. No, this is how you learn to meditate. That's simple. Closing your eyes, I'm going to lead you in the count of the breath for the first several rounds, and then I'll let you go on your own. Everybody start with an exhale of your air. You're going to inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. As you breathe here, let all things fall away. And just focus on the breath. Focus on that count. So as you feel the mind start to move away from the breath and the count, bring it back again. What we're doing is square breathing. So feel all sides of that breath balance. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Stop coming in and out, Sarah. Every time you do, it dings and messes up the whole video. I'm sorry. Last time, it missed it. Every time the doorbell rings, it clicks to you. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can shut this down so that you can come in and out.
Hey Mary, can you hear me?
You're in the middle of my recording, yes? All right, guys, technical difficulties, right? So go ahead and open up the eyes. You know, that's life, right? That's what happens when you try to meditate. You've got all these things happening in the background, you know. Is what it is. And so what you noticed is your mind probably, every time a little ding came in, every time a phone call came in, your mind went to it, right? And that is what we're trying to block out with pratyahara, right? And so if the mind went to it, it's not a big deal. Were you able to come back and go, okay, I'm supposed to be focusing on my breath? And if you were able to come back and start focusing on the breath, then that's great. That's the first steps. I told a friend yesterday that was being told to just stop thinking that was like trying to step from the bottom of the staircase to the top. If you are a new meditator, start off with that breath technique. Just inhale for the count of 4, pause for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, pause for the count of 4. The breath is the link to the now moment. It's the only thing that is happening in the now moment. So if you can breathe and you can focus on the breath and you can continue to do that over and over again, it is going to set up a new neural connection of control for you. And whereas that now the thoughts will slow down and you can determine what you want to think and what program you want to run on your computer. So those of you who joined me Facebook Live, that was an adventuresome meditation. Welcome to real life and what meditation is in real life. If you're not in an ashram or some sanctuary somewhere, this is what it's like to try to meditate. And we're gonna constantly have all of this stuff within our life. How can we, in that moment, come back to center, the center of our circle, so we don't forget anymore who we are and where we're supposed to be? All right, Facebook Live, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Those of you who are